The void of space stretched endlessly, cold and silent except for the faint hum of a dying star. Near its edge, an alien vessel drifted in darkness. Once this ship had shone with pride, a carrier of explorers, a symbol of knowledge. But now its hull was scarred, its engines flickered, and its shields were failing. Inside, the alien crew worked desperately. Their faces were long and slender, their skin pale and glowing faintly under the emergency lights. They belonged to a noble species known as the Alvarians, respected across many star systems for their wisdom. But wisdom could not save them now. Captain Saren, the leader of the ship, gripped the control console with trembling hands. His voice was calm, but beneath his calmness was fear. "Send the signal again," he ordered. A younger officer obeyed, pressing the control. A wave of energy pulsed. Out from the ship, a distress call reaching far into the dark sea of space. They had sent it before again and again, but no answer had come. The collapsing star outside burned brighter every moment, pulling the ship closer. The vessel's engines were too weak to break free. If no help arrived soon, they would be swallowed by the storm of fire. "Will anyone come?" whispered one of the engineers. "Or are we already forgotten?" Captain Saren did not answer. He stared at the star, its glow reflecting in his eyes. Around the galaxy, many empires had advanced fleets and great power. Surely someone would hear. Surely someone would care. But as the minutes turned to hours, the silence of space remained unbroken. No ships came. No rescue fleets appeared. It seemed the galaxy had judged their fate. Too dangerous, too costly, not worth the risk. Yet across the stars, far away on a small blue planet called Earth, the signal was received. On Earth, the year was young in the era of interstellar travel. Humanity had only just begun to send ships beyond their home system. They were not counted among the great empires. Many advanced species still saw humans as reckless newcomers, daring but fragile, with little to offer. Inside a hidden command station beneath the mountains, the signal arrived. Technicians rushed to their consoles, decoding the alien language, as best they could. At first the message was broken, full of static, but the meaning was clear. "Help us. Engines failing. Star collapsing. Coordinates attached. Urgent." The room fell silent. No one had expected such a message. At the center of the station, a tall figure leaned over the display. Commander Arik Hale, Earth's most skilled pilot, studied the signal with sharp eyes. His career had been filled with daring missions, from asteroid mining runs to dangerous rescues in Earth's orbit. Many called him reckless. Others called him a genius. To Arik it was simple. He trusted his instincts, and his instincts had never failed him. "Where is it coming from?" he asked quietly. "Sector Delta 7, replied one of the officers. "Near a dying star. The ship is large, alien design, unknown class, but it's advanced. They're trapped." Arik nodded slowly. He could almost see it in his mind. The ship spinning helplessly near a collapsing sun. He imagined the crew, desperate, waiting for someone to answer. His chest tightened. "Who else received the call?" he asked. "Almost everyone," the officer said. "All nearby systems. But so far, no one has responded, not even the bigger empires. The risk is too high." Arik's eyes narrowed. So the others had heard, but they had chosen silence. They were calculating lives against danger, and they had decided not to waste their ships. He straightened. "Then we will respond." The command center fell into uneasy murmurs. One of the generals shook his head. "Commander Hale, Earth doesn't have the strength for this. Our ships are smaller, our technology less advanced. The forces around that star will tear a human vessel apart. We cannot risk one of our best pilots for a hopeless mission." But Arik's voice cut through the room, steady and sure. "Hopeless? No. Dangerous, yes, but if we only act when we are safe, then we will never grow." Someone called for help and no one else answered. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? His words carried weight. The officers looked at each other. They knew his reputation. Many times before, Arik had succeeded where no one else dared. Finally, The general sighed. You understand what you are asking. You may not return. Arik gave a small smile. I understand, but I will try. The decision was made. Within hours, Earth's engineers prepared a special craft for him. It was small, fast, and built with experimental engines that had never been tested in such extreme conditions. While other ships relied on power, this one relied on precision and instinct, perfect for Arik Hale. As he suited up, his closest friend, technician Leora, approached him. Her eyes were full of worry. Arik, you don't have to do this. No one would blame you if you refused. He paused, then placed a hand on her shoulder. Leora, do you remember when Earth's first colony ship was stranded near Mars? Everyone said it was lost, but we tried anyway and we brought them home. That is who we are. We try. We don't turn away. She looked at him, and though her worry remained, pride flickered in her eyes. Then bring them back, she whispered. He smiled. I will. As Arik's ship rose from Earth's atmosphere, the planet glowed blue beneath him. He looked down at his home, the birthplace of a species that refused to give up. Above him stretched the infinite stars, and somewhere among them, a crew waited for hope. He gripped the controls, steady and calm. This is Commander Arik Hale, departing Earth, setting course for Delta 7. To whoever is waiting out there, hold on. The engines roared, and the ship leapt into the darkness. Far away, aboard the failing alien vessel, Captain Saren sat quietly in the control room. His crew worked in silence, their faces filled with exhaustion and despair. The star outside pulsed, brighter, warning of the end. Suddenly, a faint signal appeared on their screen. A human frequency. The message was short, almost too simple, yet powerful enough to bring tears to their eyes. Help is coming. Hold on. For the first time in days, hope stirred aboard the alien ship. The stars stretched endlessly around Commander Arik Hale's small craft as it sped through interstellar space. Every calculation had been triple-checked, every engine calibrated to perfection, but the journey ahead was far from routine. He was leaving the comfort of known space, venturing into a sector no human ship had dared enter before. Inside the craft, the hum of the engines was steady, yet tense. Arik's fingers danced across the controls, adjusting trajectory, monitoring radiation, shields, and scanning for gravitational anomalies. Every second mattered. One misstep, one miscalculation, and he would never reach the trapped alien crew. Back on Earth, the command center was silent. Leaders and scientists gathered, eyes glued to the live feed of the mission. Some spoke in low whispers, debating the wisdom of sending a single human pilot to rescue an alien species that even the greatest civilizations had ignored. Are we sure he can make it? Asked General Kale, his voice carrying concern and disbelief. Dr. Celine, the lead engineer, shook her head. Our ships are fast and maneuverable, yes, but the distance to that star system, it is beyond any trial we've ever run, not to mention the radiation storms near the star. If anything goes wrong. Her voice trailed off. But that's exactly why we chose Arik, said Admiral Torin, leaning back in his chair. He doesn't follow limits the way others do. He thinks, adapts, and acts. Logic only gets you so far. Humans have something more. Courage, instinct, persistence. Meanwhile, in the alien vessel, hope began to stir. Captain Saren watched the stars, his sensors detecting a faint human signal approaching. For the first time in days, he allowed himself a cautious optimism. The species that had not been counted among the galaxy's great powers, fragile, untested humans, was coming to save them. Impossible, muttered Lieutenant Varon, an older officer with pale, luminous skin. Why would they risk a ship for us? We are not part of their system, not their problem. Captain Saren shook his head slowly. Perhaps we are wrong to judge them by what we know. Perhaps humans are different. Arik's craft approached the sector with precision. The dying star glowed ominously in the distance, a raging inferno surrounded by clouds of ionized gas and debris. He slowed his ship as he entered the star's gravity well, careful to maintain balance between speed and safety. The sensors lit up with warnings of radiation spikes, magnetic turbulence, and gravitational pull, all deadly to even the most advanced craft. "This is going to be tricky," Arik muttered under his breath, eyes scanning every instrument. He had studied the star's behavior, memorized the alien vessel's coordinates, and calculated possible escape routes. Yet he knew no plan could survive reality unchanged. He would need to think fast, react faster. Inside the alien ship, the crew could barely believe their eyes when they detected the incoming human vessel. Lieutenant Varan's antenna-like sensors twitched nervously. "Captain, is that... could it really be?" "Yes," Saren said quietly, a mix of disbelief and hope in his voice. "It is human, and it is coming for us." The aliens had prepared their ship as best they could, but their engines were weak and shields fragile. They had expected no one would risk the journey, not across such a perilous sector. Yet here it was, a small craft, gleaming and strong, racing toward them. As Arik neared the alien vessel, he transmitted a short message. His voice, calm but commanding, crackled through the alien communication system. "This is Commander Arik Hale of Earth. I am here to help. Prepare for rescue procedures." "Captain." Saren heard the words and felt a strange warmth spread across his chest. They were simple words, yet full of reassurance. "We will comply," he responded. Arik scanned the alien vessel with his sensors. The damage was extensive. Hull breaches leaked gases into space. Engines sputtered weakly. And shields flickered in dangerous waves. A direct tow was impossible. The craft was simply too large for Arik's ship to manage. He had to think of a plan. Fast, he analyzed the star's gravity, the alien ship's weight, and the energy patterns around them. Slowly, a daring idea formed. It was risky, maybe the only chance. If he could use the star's gravity to slingshot both ships out of danger, he might just save them. But timing would have to be perfect. One wrong move and both would be lost. Inside the alien ship, Captain Saren noticed Arik's movements on the sensor feed. The human pilot was small, yet precise, moving with a confidence that seemed impossible for a single ship to manage. The aliens whispered among themselves. "Such courage. Such skill. Do you trust him?" asked Lieutenant Varan. "I don't know," Saren admitted. "But we have no choice. Either we trust or we die." Arik initiated his plan. He maneuvered his craft close to the alien ship, careful to avoid collision with the loose debris floating in space. He spoke over the comms, giving clear instructions to the alien crew. "You must stabilize your engines at minimum power," he said. "Maintain position exactly as I indicate. I will guide you." The alien crew obeyed, placing their trust in the human pilot. Saren could not help but admire Arik's calm, authoritative voice. He had not panicked. He had not hesitated. And now their survival depended on him. Arik's craft twisted and spun, moving closer to the star to gain the necessary speed for the slingshot maneuver. Radiation alarms blared. Magnetic storms tore at the ship, but he adjusted every second, balancing physics and instinct. Inside the alien vessel, every officer held their breath. Sparks flew from broken panels, shields flared dangerously. And yet, Arik's craft moved with unmatched precision. Minutes stretched like hours. Finally, Arik gave the signal. "Now, all engines to maximum. Just follow my lead." The alien ship obeyed. The combined ship spun in a controlled arc around the star, the gravitational pull flinging them outward. Space itself seemed to tremble under the energy release. Both ships hurtled through the void, faster than the eye could track, yet perfectly aligned for escape. Captain Saren watched in awe. By the stars, he did it. He actually did it. Arik's craft emerged first, followed closely by the alien vessel. Both were battered, scarred, but alive. The star behind them collapsed in a final burst of light, a dangerous firestorm, that would have destroyed them had they hesitated even a second. Silence filled the space between the ships for a long moment. Then the alien captain's voice came through, trembling with emotion. "Human, you saved us." Arik smiled faintly. "That's what we do. We don't give up." The alien crew could not believe it. A species so new, so small, had accomplished what no other civilization dared attempt. Captain Saren realized that humans were more than fragile newcomers. They had courage, instinct, and the ability to act when logic alone would fail. "Your species. It is remarkable," Saren said. "We judged you too soon. Earth, your world. You have a power we did not expect." Arik shrugged. "Maybe we are small, but we try. That is enough sometimes." As the ships floated in the calm space beyond the destroyed star, the crew of the alien vessel began to repair their systems with newfound hope. They had been given a second chance, all because one human had refused to turn away. Arik looked out at the stars, thinking of the long journey back to Earth. There would be challenges ahead, but for now, they were alive. And in this moment, humanity's courage had made a difference across the galaxy. Back on Earth, the command center erupted in relief when the live feed confirmed both ships were safe. Scientists, engineers, and leaders cheered, some wiping tears from their eyes. Arik Hale's name was already being spoken with awe across communications. Admiral Torin leaned back in his chair, a proud smile on his face. "He has done what we thought impossible," he said softly. "He has shown the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated." Dr. Celine nodded. "It is not just skill or technology. It is the human heart, courage, determination. That is what saved them." Far away in the alien ship, Captain Saren and his crew began to repair their engines, still in awe of the human who had saved them. For the first time, they imagined a galaxy where humans were not just observers, but equals. And somewhere in the void, Commander Arik Hale smiled. The mission was far from over, but the impossible had been achieved. Humanity had reached across the stars and proven that courage, skill, and a willingness to act could make the difference, even in the darkest corners of the universe. The stars stretched endlessly, like tiny diamonds scattered across black velvet. Commander Arik Hale's craft glided smoothly through space, the small engines humming steadily as he guided the rescued alien ship away from the destroyed star. But he knew that the danger had only begun. The alien vessel was damaged more than they had realized. Hull breaches still leaked precious gases, engines flickered, and shields were thin and unstable. Every moment mattered. One mistake, one miscalculation, and both ships could be lost in the vast emptiness of space. Inside the alien ship, Captain Saren paced his control room. The crew had begun repairs, but there was tension in every movement. Their species had always valued caution and precision, yet now they were relying on a human, a fragile being from a young species, to lead them through the dangers ahead. Lieutenant Varan's sensors twitched nervously. "Captain, I do not understand. The human pilot, he is reckless, yet somehow he is precise. How is that possible?" Saren shook his head. "I do not know. But we must trust him. We have no other choice." The alien crew began to cooperate with Arik's instructions, marveling at the calm and confidence in his voice. He guided them to stabilize their engines and shield frequencies, carefully coordinating movements so that the damaged ship would not spin out of control. Every adjustment was critical. Arik spoke over the comms. "Listen carefully. You will follow my lead exactly. Any deviation could be fatal. We are heading through a radiation storm near the remnants of the star. Stay calm, follow instructions, and we will get through this together." Saren relayed the commands to his crew, and for the first time in days they felt a spark of hope. The radiation storm ahead glowed like molten gold, clouds of charged particles swirling violently around the debris left from the collapsed star. Sensors on Arik's craft detected fluctuations in magnetic fields and sudden bursts of energy. The ship shuddered under the force, but Arik adjusted instantly, his hands flying across the controls. He spoke to himself softly, almost as if focusing his mind would control the chaos around him. "Steady, steady, Timing is everything. Inside the alien ship, the crew watched as Oryx's tiny craft moved with unmatched precision. They had never seen such skill in any pilot, not among their own people, and certainly not among any human. Their disbelief was tempered with growing admiration. "Perhaps they are not as fragile as we thought," whispered one of the engineers. Saren nodded. "They have something we cannot measure. Courage, determination, instinct." As they approached the heart of the storm, massive plasma arcs leapt across space, crackling and hissing like unseen lightning. Debris moved unpredictably, threatening to tear through both vessels. Arik knew there was no room for hesitation. Adjust shields to maximum, increase power to the left engines by 15%, and prepare for a slingshot maneuver around the plasma cluster, he commanded. The aliens obeyed, their trust growing with every calculated step. They began to realize that this human pilot was not merely skilled. He saw patterns, anticipated dangers, and acted in ways that defied logic yet worked perfectly. The storm was relentless. Particles of ionized gas struck the alien vessel's hull, causing minor explosions. The ship shook violently and alarms blared. Saren gripped the console, trying to maintain composure. "Hold steady. Do not panic. We are not done yet." Arik's voice cut through the chaos, calm and firm. "You are doing fine. Trust the maneuver. Follow my lead." The slingshot maneuver required perfect timing. Arik needed to use the star's residual gravity to propel both ships out of danger, but the arc was narrow, the forces unpredictable. One wrong move could send them spiraling into the heart of the storm. He positioned his craft carefully, aligning it with the alien vessel. "On my mark. 3, 2, 1. With a burst of controlled thrust, Arik's craft shot forward, pulling the alien vessel along the calculated path. The gravity of the remnants of the star tugged at them, and for a terrifying moment, both ships teetered on the edge of destruction. Inside the alien ship, crew members held their breath, eyes wide. Sparks flew from damaged consoles. The hull groaned under pressure. Saren whispered a quiet prayer, hoping that the human pilot's plan would succeed. Then, the impossible happened. Both ships emerged from the plasma storm, spinning but intact, their trajectory taking them safely beyond the danger zone. The remnants of the star glowed behind them, a fiery monument to the peril they had narrowly escaped. The aliens could not believe what they had witnessed. Lieutenant Varen's sensors twitched in awe. He did it. A single human craft, against impossible odds. Captain Saren's voice trembled with emotion. "Yes, it is beyond anything I have ever seen. They have saved us." Arik, inside his own small vessel, allowed himself a faint smile. He knew the mission was far from over. The alien ship was still damaged, and the journey home would be long and dangerous. Yet for this moment he had succeeded. Courage, skill, and instinct had carried them through the fire. The alien crew began repairing critical systems with Arik's guidance. He transmitted instructions clearly, demonstrating ways to stabilize their engines, recalibrate shields, and repair damaged energy conduits. His knowledge of physics and quick thinking made him a teacher as well as a rescuer. Saren watched quietly, filled with respect. This human, they are more than we imagined. Their species, it is special. Hours passed as the two ships traveled together through the void. The alien vessel's engines hummed more steadily now, and its shields held firm. The storm had tested them, but it had also shown the aliens something they had never expected. Humans were not simply fragile newcomers. They were capable, clever, and daring. Arik monitored the alien ship closely, his mind never resting. "We are not safe yet," he said over comms. "There are more dangers ahead: asteroids, radiation pockets, and unknown gravitational fields. Stay alert." Captain Saren nodded. "We will follow. Lead us, human. We trust your judgment." The words were simple, but their meaning was profound. Across the galaxy, the Alvarians had always relied on logic, careful planning, and long-standing strategies. Now they realized that sometimes Instinct and courage could achieve what logic alone could not. As they approached a region of dense asteroid fields, the challenge grew even greater. Massive rocks floated silently, each capable of destroying. Their ships have struck. Auric's eyes scanned the instruments, plotting a course that weaved through the obstacles with precision. Engage thrusters in sequence. Adjust shields for directional impact. Now, he called out. The ships twisted and turned, narrowly avoiding collisions. Dust and small debris brushed past their hulls, leaving marks, but no major damage. The alien crew marveled at Auric's daring maneuvers, their respect for the human pilot growing with every second. Such bravery, Varen muttered. Such skill. Captain Saren placed a hand on the console. And such dedication. This human risks everything for our lives. We must remember this. By the time the asteroid field was behind them, both ships had survived, battered but intact. The alien crew had begun to trust not only Auric's skill, but humanity itself. The galaxy was wide and dangerous, yet humans had a courage and determination unlike any other. Auric, glancing at the alien vessel, spoke softly. You are safe for now, but remember, your species is strong and your knowledge is valuable. Together we can navigate the rest of this journey. You are not alone. The aliens listened in silence, absorbing his words. They had learned something new, something they had not expected. Humans were more than fragile newcomers. They were determined, daring, and capable of acts that even the oldest civilizations would hesitate to attempt. Captain Saren allowed a small smile. Perhaps we have underestimated your species. Perhaps humans are not only brave, but also necessary in ways we cannot yet understand. Auric looked out at the stars, feeling the weight of the mission ahead. The journey home would be long, filled with unknown dangers, but for now they had survived. Humanity had proven itself once again. Courage and instinct had made the impossible possible. And across the void, both ships moved forward together, bound by trust, respect, and the shared experience of surviving against odds that had seemed unbeatable. The space ahead was calm, almost deceptively quiet. Commander Auric Hale's small craft glided alongside the alien vessel, its engines purring softly as they moved further away from the destroyed star. For hours, both ships traveled in silence, repairing damage and stabilizing systems. The alien crew had begun to trust Auric completely, following his guidance with precise obedience. Captain Saren sat in his command chair, staring at the distant stars. He had spent centuries studying the galaxy, learning its histories, its empires, and its rules. But now, facing humanity, he realized there were forces he could not measure: courage, instinct, and the unyielding determination of a single species to act when others would not. Human, Saren began, his voice careful. I have watched your actions for hours. I do not fully understand. You act without fear, yet with precision. You take risks that we would never allow. How do you do it? Auric smiled faintly. We make mistakes sometimes, but we try. We act. That's how we survive. Saren nodded slowly. Perhaps that is why your species is different. Perhaps that is why you have reached this point while others faltered. The alien ship's repairs were nearly complete, but Auric knew their journey was far from over. The sector they traveled through was known for unstable gravitational fields, remnants of ancient supernovae, and pockets of high radiation. One wrong step could destroy both ships instantly. He guided the alien vessel carefully, constantly scanning for anomalies. There's a pattern in the fields ahead, he said. Follow my trajectory exactly. One deviation could be disastrous. The aliens obeyed, moving as one with the human pilot's instructions. Each correction, each adjustment, demonstrated Auric's deep understanding of physics, intuition, and the limits of his own craft. They began to realize that humans were capable of more than they had ever imagined. Lieutenant Varen, watching the displays, whispered to Captain Saren. They understand the universe differently. Not just logically, but in ways that seem impossible to predict. Saren nodded. It is not just skill. It is courage, adaptability, and something more. Something uniquely human. As they entered a particularly treacherous gravitational field, Arik noticed unusual energy readings. Captain Saren, your ship's sensors are picking up something. Ahead. It looks like an old structure. Possibly alien, but massive. We should investigate carefully. The alien crew tensed. Structures in space were dangerous. Ancient ruins, abandoned stations, derelict ships. Any could be traps or contain hostile forces. But curiosity, tempered by survival instincts, drove them forward. Arik guided them closer. The structure appeared as a colossal frame, its edges glowing faintly with residual energy. It was larger than any vessel they had ever seen, ancient yet advanced and clearly not of Alvarian design. Saren stared at the readings. This is impossible. I have studied many civilizations, yet this I have never seen before. Arik leaned forward. It might be a key to understanding something greater. Let's approach cautiously. As the alien ship docked carefully with the structure, a soft hum filled the control room. Panels lit up with symbols neither Arik nor the Alvarians fully understood, yet somehow the energy felt familiar. Captain Saren approached a console, his fingers brushing against the glowing symbols. A holographic map sprang to life, displaying star systems, planets, and lines of energy connecting them. It was not a navigational map of any known empire. It was something older, something more fundamental. Arik studied the map as well. This is incredible. Whoever built this had knowledge of the galaxy far beyond what any current civilization has. Saren's voice trembled with awe. It is as if someone created it for a purpose. But why? And for whom? As they explored further, the holographic map shifted, revealing an even more astonishing truth. Images of early humans appeared, primitive yet distinct, their faces recognizable across millennia. Arik felt a strange, inexplicable connection, though he had never seen these images before. Saren watched him closely. Human, these records, they show your species. But how? Why? Arik shook his head, equally puzzled. I don't know. But whatever it is, it seems important. Someone wanted us here. Maybe we are not here by accident. The ancient system began to communicate with the ships in subtle ways. Energy pulses synchronized with the alien vessel's engines, creating a resonance that stabilized the failing shields. Panels displayed calculations far beyond current Alvarian or human technology, yet they worked intuitively. Captain Saren realized something profound. This structure is guiding us. It is assisting, almost as if it recognizes human presence. Could it be engineered for your species? Arik's eyes widened. Engineered for humans? But why? Who would do that? Saren's pale skin glowed under the light of the holographic map. If this is true, it may explain why humans survived when other species fell. Perhaps your kind was always meant to endure, to face challenges that others could not overcome. Arik took a deep breath. The weight of the realization settled on him. Humans had long thought of themselves as small, fragile newcomers in a vast galaxy. Yet here, evidence suggested that humanity had been part of something much larger. A plan, a design, or perhaps a gift from an unknown creator. The alien crew listened in silence as Arik and Saren pieced together the clues. Systems once thought damaged suddenly came alive, guided by the structure's energy. It was as if the technology responded to human thought, human instinct, Lieutenant Varine whispered, awed. We judged them. All this time, we underestimated their species. Saren nodded solemnly. We did, but now we see the truth. Humans, they carry something rare, something we do not fully understand. They are meant to act, to survive, to endure where others would falter. Auric felt a mix of pride and humility. He had only followed his instincts, relied on his courage, and acted when others hesitated. Yet now he realized the galaxy might have relied on humans all along. As they worked with the structure, the truth became clearer. The ancient builders had designed systems to interact with human intuition, guiding, teaching, and supporting them in times of extreme danger. Humans were not simply survivors. They were meant to carry a spark of resilience that no other species could match. For hours, the crews of both ships explored the structure. They learned to repair the alien vessel using insights from the ancient system. Energy flows that seemed impossible before became manageable, and the alien ship's shields and engines stabilized. Captain Saryn finally turned to Auric, his expression one of deep respect. Human, your species. It is extraordinary. Not just because of skill or courage, but because of something deeper. You endure. You act. You survive. And now, you have the knowledge and the ability to continue. Auric nodded slowly. We do what we must, that is all. But thank you for trusting us. The alien captain's gaze softened. It is not trust alone. It is recognition. We see now that humanity is capable of things we could not predict. You are special. As the two ships prepared to leave the ancient structure, a final message appeared in the holographic display. Simple, yet profound. Use what you have learned. Protect your home. Endure. Humanity is more than it knows. Auric and Saryn exchanged a glance. Both understood the weight of the message. Humans were no longer simply observers in the galaxy. They had a purpose: to survive, to act, and to inspire. The alien crew felt a sense of hope they had not known before. They had been rescued, yes, but more than that, they had witnessed the potential of a new species, one that could face dangers they could not, and succeed. As the two ships set course for Earth, the ancient structure faded into the darkness behind them. Its purpose fulfilled, it would remain a silent guardian, waiting for the next moment when humans might need its guidance again. Auric piloted his craft alongside the alien vessel, thinking of the long journey home. There would be dangers ahead, but now he understood something crucial. Humans were more than luck or technology. They were courage, ingenuity, and hope made real. And somewhere in the vast galaxy, a plan set in motion long ago was finally becoming clear. Humanity had a role, and they were only beginning to understand it. The journey back to Earth was long but calm. Commander Auric Hale's small craft glided steadily through the star-studded void, alongside the repaired alien vessel. The crew aboard the alien ship had begun to trust humans fully, no longer seeing them as fragile newcomers but as equals, as a species capable of extraordinary courage and ingenuity. Captain Saryn sat in his command room, observing the human pilot's movements. Even in the calm of space, Auric remained vigilant, scanning the route, adjusting engines, and preparing for any unforeseen dangers. This human, Saryn whispered to Lieutenant Varen, even when safe, acts as if danger is near. It is remarkable, Varen nodded. Their caution is combined with boldness. No species we know has this combination. Auric, inside his own ship, felt the weight of their admiration but remained focused. He knew that the mission was not over. They were heading to a planet whose skies were blue, whose oceans shimmered with life, Earth. But the galaxy would judge humans by what they did next, and he was determined to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. As the ships approached Earth's system, communications from the planet's control centers began to flow. Scientists, engineers, and officials eagerly monitored their progress. News of the successful rescue had already spread, and the world watched in silent awe as the human pilot guided the alien crew home. On the alien vessel, Saryn prepared a formal message for Earth. Humanity has risked one of its own for us, he said. We must express gratitude, and perhaps he'd offer something in return. Auric smiled faintly. It is enough that we helped you. That is what matters. But Saryn insisted. No. You have proven that courage and action are more than words. Your species has earned recognition, and the galaxy should know it. Earth's leaders prepared a welcome even though the ships were still many light minutes away. There were debates, discussions about whether humans should attempt contact with an alien species directly, whether Earth was ready for the wider galaxy. Yet no one could ignore the fact that a single human pilot had saved an entire crew from near destruction. Back on the alien ship, repairs continued smoothly, guided by Orcs' instructions. Energy flows stabilized, shields were recalibrated, and systems once thought lost were operational again. The aliens marveled at the humans' understanding, at how he could adapt quickly to unfamiliar technology. Varen turned to Saren. "Captain, they are not just skilled, they are creative in ways we cannot calculate." Saren nodded. "And that is the greatest gift of their species. Logic alone can only go so far. Humans act, they adapt, they endure." As Earth's blue atmosphere appeared on the view screen, both ships slowed carefully. The alien crew could see oceans, clouds, and continents below, a world alive with life. For the first time, they understood the planet that had produced such a species. Arik guided the ships into orbit, coordinating with Earth's orbital command. The process was smooth but tense. Humans had little experience docking large alien vessels, and one misstep could cause disaster. Yet his hands moved with confidence, and every instruction was precise. Finally, both ships were safely in orbit. A small fleet of Earth's vessels arrived to escort the alien ship, their engines forming bright streaks of light across space. Scientists, politicians, and reporters watched from control centers, stunned at the successful rescue and the return of the alien crew. On Earth, a formal reception was planned for the aliens. Captain Saren and his officers stepped onto the planet's surface for the first time in decades. They marveled at the forests, oceans, and cities. Yet more than the planet itself, they marveled at the people, humans bustling, speaking, working, yet united in their shared determination. Saren approached Arik, his expression solemn. "Commander Hale, your actions have changed everything, not just for your planet but for all of us. You have shown that humans are capable of courage, creativity, and compassion in ways we did not expect." Arik shook his head. "I only did what any human would do if they were faced with the same choice. We try, we act, that is all." Saren smiled, though a touch of awe softened his stern features. "Perhaps, but not all humans act as you do. And yet, now we understand that your species is meant to endure. You are not only survivors, you are vital." News of the rescue spread quickly across the galaxy. Nearby civilizations that had ignored the distress call now reconsidered their assumptions. Humans were no longer newcomers to be dismissed. They were beings capable of extraordinary action, bravery, and wisdom in times of crisis. Back on the alien ship, the crew gathered. In their command room, Saren addressed his team. "Remember this day. Remember that a single human pilot changed the fate of our crew. We have learned something invaluable. Courage and instinct can succeed where logic alone cannot." Varen nodded, his antenna-like sensors twitching. "And humanity. They are not fragile. They are strong. Perhaps stronger than anyone realizes." Saren allowed a moment of silence, looking at Arik. "You have given us more than life itself. You have given us hope." In the days that followed, the aliens and humans shared knowledge. The Alvarians taught Arik about their advanced technology, while he explained human ingenuity, tactics, and adaptability. There was mutual respect, mutual learning, and mutual gratitude. Earth gained not only allies but teachers, insights into technologies far beyond current understanding, and a glimpse of how courage and instinct could shape survival across the galaxy. Arik, quiet as always, reflected on the journey. He had faced dangers that few could imagine: collapsing stars, deadly radiation, gravitational storms, and unstable alien technology. Yet through it all, he had relied on human instinct, courage, and determination, And it had made a difference, not just for one crew, but for the way the galaxy would now see humanity. Captain Saren approached Arik one final time before departing Earth. Human, your species, you may be young, inexperienced by galactic standard, but you carry something rare. You act when others hesitate. You endure when others falter. And now, we know we can rely on you. Arik nodded. We will continue to try. We will continue to act. That is all we can promise. Saren smiled, a gesture of deep respect. It is enough. More than enough. The alien crew prepared to leave orbit, their vessels repaired and systems stabilized. Before departing, Saren turned back once, more to Arik. Remember this. When the galaxy tests your species, your courage, determination, and instinct will be your greatest weapons. And when others run, humans will stand. Arik watched the alien ship rise into the stars, a feeling of quiet pride swelling within him. He had done what few could imagine. Humanity had proven itself, not through numbers, technology, or power, but through courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act when others hesitated. As the alien ship disappeared into the darkness of space, Earth celebrated quietly yet proudly. Humans were no longer merely observers in the galaxy. They were capable of incredible acts. They were a species that could face danger, solve problems creatively, and act when others would not. Arik returned to Earth, greeted by cheers, applause, and a mixture of awe and respect. He remained humble, simply acknowledging his crew and colleagues. Yet the world knew the truth. Humanity had been tested, and humanity had proven itself. The alien crew sent a final message before disappearing into deep space. When others ran from danger, only a human came. Your species carries hope, courage, and endurance. We will remember this always. Arik read the message, smiling softly. He knew the journey was only beginning. Humanity had much to learn, much to achieve, but they had earned their place in the galaxy. Courage, determination, and action, these qualities would guide them through the challenges ahead. And somewhere in the vast universe, civilizations, whispered of a species that had risen not through might, but through heart, skill, and the ability to act in the face of impossible odds. Humanity was no longer small. Humanity was special,